Welcome back to Geeks and Gamers. Welcome back to the Junk Room, guys. It's me, the Junk Man, back to talk Star Wars with you. So what are we going to talk about? Well, before we get into that, as always, if you want to support this channel, head over to patreon.com. The link's in the description below, where you can support this channel for just as little as $2 a month. That money goes back into making all this junk look better and better quality videos. In fact, we got a new series just for Patreon supporters where I go back to my old videos, watch them, and do commentary at the same time. Some of them's very cringy. You remember back when I was in the junk closet, but now I'm out of the closet. So support us on Patreon or head over to StarWarsJunk.net and buy some cool t-shirts. Now, before we get started, one more thing. I want to give a big shout out to our new Patreon supporter, Robert. I'm not going to say your last name because some people don't like to have their last name out there. So I'm just going to say Robert, and I'm going to call you Biggs. You know why I'm going to call you Biggs. The other people watching probably don't, but the Patreon supporters will. Welcome to Patreon. Hope you have a good time, and thank you so much for your support. Now let's get on to the video. What are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the Lost Star Wars comic book series from Blackthorn. Yep, we all know Marvel had the rights to Star Wars comics back in the early 80s, and we all know that Dark Horse picked up the Star Wars rights comics in the early 90s. Then after the sale of Lucasfilm to Disney, Marvel returned back to the Star Wars comic book line. But did you know for the 10th anniversary of Star Wars, 1987, there was another comic book series from another comic book company called Blackthorn? Let me show you issue 1. And here it is. I hope the glare from the lights isn't too bad on it. I'll put up another picture if I can. This is it, issue 1. Now, the whole line was only 3 issues, although there were plans for 6 issues altogether. Actually, the 6th issue was going to be about the Bothan spies that we heard about in Return of the Jedi. So what do we have here? That's right, Star Wars in 3D. Whoa, 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 whoa! Star Wars coming at you in 3D! Whoa! Someone out there is screaming, "Take better care of those comic books, Duckman!" But this is it. I picked this up at a comic book store back in the early 90s. Took me forever to find the other 3 issues, and we'll get to them in just a second. But this is the first issue right here for the 10th anniversary, issue 1, Star Wars 3D. I will show you a little bit inside the comic. What is the name of this? Show you a little bit inside. It's kind of hard to see. It's in 3D, so you're not really going to look at any really good detail with color. Now, they did come with 3D glasses, but I don't have the 3D glasses, but it's nothing special. It's not Star Wars 3D glasses. They were just right with a blue lens and a red lens to give the 3D effect. I have some other generic 3D glasses I use when I want to look at this. The 3Ds is pretty good. If you're into 3D stuff, really pick these up right here. Don't really hear much people talk about these comics right here. Don't really ever see them anywhere, except on eBay, of course, but I never hardly ever walk into a comic shop and see these. Now, let's talk about issue 1. Again, released in 1987 for the 10th anniversary of Star Wars. Star Wars, if you didn't know, and you better know it, you should know it. If you don't know it, then you need to log off of this YouTube channel and go read your Star Wars history. Star Wars was released in 1977. May 25th, 1977 to be exact, in some markets. Anyway, this was issue 1. From 1987. As far as I can tell, it has no title to this comic book. I've looked inside. I don't see a title like I do on the other ones. We just call this one Star Wars 3D Issue 1. Now, the comic book takes place shortly after Star Wars A New Hope, before The Empire Strikes Back, and before the events in the Star Wars novel Splinter of the Mind's Eye, which was a Star Wars book that came out between Star Wars and Empire. Very good book back in the day. You need to check it out if you haven't. There is something interesting. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. Let's see. There's a TIE fighter right there. See him? Just a normal TIE fighter pilot. But look, he has like a pentagram symbol on his helmet. Never understood why they gave him. Maybe it's some kind of satanic code they're trying to give kids while they read this comic. Not really sure. But again, this is issue 1. On the back of it has an advertisement for Transformers number 2 3D comic book. Not going to say that these are the best stories in the world, or not even the best art, but let's see. Let's take another look on the inside. Look at that. Again, that's the cover. Hold it up so you can see a little better. Hopefully there's no glare on it. Try to move it around here so you can get it really good with no glare. If there's a glare when I go to edit this, I'll put a better picture up then. But that's issue 1. So let's take a look at issue 2. This is it. And look at the condition of this. This is a really good condition. It took me forever to find these. Not until the days of the internet and eBay did I ever find these. Now, I found issue 1 right here. I found this back in the day at the comic book shop. And I had a friend out in the comic book store. And we would talk about it. And he said, no, there was issue 1, then it got canceled. People didn't even know there was an issue 2 and 3. They had stores. This guy owned the comic book store. Well, not at the time, but he owned the comic book store a few years after. And so you think he would know. He's never seen one either. But thanks to eBay, you can find about anything. So I found issue 2 in pristine, almost like new condition. Look at that. I need to get these graded. These are really good. Let's talk about issue number 2, Havoc for Hoth. This one takes place after issue 1, which I forgot to mention has Darth Vader in it, although it's a flashback scene. This one here starts off. Let's see where it starts off. Look at that. See, it's all orange looking, so it's not really a great looking comic book. There is something interesting in here. They do talk about Jabba the Hutt in here, but they spell Jabba the Hutt well, we know how to spell a Jabba. They spell Jabba the same. They spell a Hutt, H-U-T. And of course, this one's all about them looking for a new rebel base, and they find it at Hoth. Again, some more pages from the book. If you don't have your 3D glasses, don't try to read this, or it's going to kill your eyes. And on the back of this comic book, we have a very nice ad for the Rambo, almost said RoboCop, Rambo 3 3D comic book. That's 2 3s. Whew, that's confusing. Rambo 3 3D. Could have just called it Rambo 3D, but then I guess it would have been based on Rambo 1. But there wasn't a Rambo 1. There was First Blood, and then there was a Rambo First Blood 2, and then all of a sudden there was a Rambo 3, but there was no Rambo 2. And then after Rambo 3 was just Rambo. Why do they have to confuse us so much? But issue 2 right here takes place moments before The Empire Strikes Back. If you've never seen The Empire Strikes Back, what are you doing watching this video? Cut this thing off and go see The Empire Strikes Back. What's wrong with you? Because it's like really good. Number 2, Star Wars Havoc for Hoth. Right there, let's go on to the last one here, and we can wrap up this video, and we can all get back on with our life. Here we go, issue 3. The comic takes place after the rebels have set up the base on Hoth. This one here, they're kind of looking for the base of Hoth. They find it near the end. Spoiler alert. And this one is about, it takes place right about the time they set up Hoth. It has Darth Vader here, but Luke and Darth Vader never really meet. Let's take a look on the inside here. There's Luke Skywalker fighting Darth Vader. As I said, they did never meet. You're going to have to read the comic to find out what happened. And let's see, here's some more little pages. Show you some more pages out of these. Another ad for the Rambo 3 3D comic book right there. See if we got anything else really cool here to show you. Darth Vader, of course, is in this comic book here. You see Darth Vader in the corner right up there. Now, interesting about here, they spell Wookiee different than here. They spell it with 1 E. But I saw a lot of stuff back then in the early 80s anyway that spelled Wookiee with 1 E. Sometimes I get confused. Is it 2 E's or 1 E? Because when I was growing up, you saw it a lot of times with 1 E, but now you always see it with 2 E's. But anyway, that's a look at the Star Wars Blackthorn 3D comic books. Let's put them up here so you can see them a little better. Okay, again, let's do this. We got issue 1. We got issue 2. I really like the cover of these. And issue 3. Because there's no glare on it. Now, how much will these run you now if you want to buy them? Well, I checked eBay before coming on here. In fact, let me go back over and pull up my eBay. Issue 1 seems to sell for about $3 to $4 in good condition. So, like I said, it was the most common. It's the only one I've ever seen at a comic book store. $3 to $4 is out there on eBay. If you're into collecting the comics and you didn't know about this series, pick that up. Okay, issue number 2. Make sure I'm holding the right one. I saw this just recently sold on eBay for $9. Hard to find. If you I searched on eBay for auctions that had ended. Only one of these came up, and it sold for $9. And last, issue 3. The recently one that sold on there sold for about $30. But they are rare. Even when I'm searching on eBay for ones that are listed now, there's not many. You see, issue 1's pretty easy to find on eBay, but I still don't see 2 and 3 come up. I guess being that they're 3D comic books, it's not like they got really great art in them. I'll show you again. So I'm guessing that's why they're not really worth as much as because they're pretty rare comic books, I think, anyway. You're not going to walk into a local comic book store and mostly find these. So again, we have the Star Wars Blackthorn comic books right here. And yes, I do have a bag on a board to put them in. I just took them out for the video. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching. And again, if you want to support this channel, head over to patreon.com. We got a lot of exciting things going on over there at the first of the year. Gonna start doing a lot more there than we have been doing. So I want to thank you again for the ones that do support me over at Patreon. And if you don't want to support at Patreon, but you want to support this channel, head over to StarWarsJunk.net and buy some cool t-shirts. Thank you for watching. We'll be back very soon.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.